So I want to say Happy Mother's Day to everybody, all of the mothers and the aunties and the sisters and the dads and the husbands, all who represent as mother. Happy Mother's Day. And you're welcome. And I want to give a shout out to Reverend Dave, who was here with you all last Sunday. While I was away, a little vacation, so I appreciate that. Yeah. So we have a new theme for the month, Trust, Prove It. And if you were here when the service started with Amanda's songs and this affirmation, I have faith in my confidence and confidence in my faith, you can go home. That's it. That's it. Trust, prove it. And so here in this teaching, in any new thought type of teaching, we oftentimes talk about the energy and the essence that we all embody that is feminine or masculine when we're talking about Mother's Day. And so there are, I think someone said it, there are a lot of things that mothers, a lot of gifts that mothers offer us, a lot of lessons that mothers can teach us about metaphysics and living the life that we desire. I can't number them all. We'd be here, for days and days and days and days. But I want to talk about today this idea about mothers and the essence of mothers, of how they have this thing about them where they can hold things together. Where they can hold things together. It's almost as if they embody the essence and knowing that nothing is withheld. That nothing is withheld from us. Mothers, they can make a way out of no way. And mothers can make something out of nothing. At least that's been my experience with my mother and mothers who've been in my life. This is just what they do. And in order for them to be able to do this, then they have to be affirming consciously or unconsciously within themselves that nothing is withheld from us. Nothing is withheld from me. Sometimes even moment by moment, in this moment, in the next moment, in the next moment, in the next moment, in their ability to make something out of nothing or to make a way out of no way. They must be affirming this. Nothing is withheld from us. Nothing is withheld from me. And so the principles today that I want us to take a look at is, number one is we believe in God, the living Spirit, Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. We believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. And we believe in the healing of the sick and control of conditions through the power of this mind. That's what we believe. And so, if we are going to prove it, this trust that we have, then we have to begin to embody and embrace this idea that nothing is withheld from us. And that we have complete confidence in life. Because in essence, that's what mothers demonstrate to us. Their complete confidence in life. and that nothing is withheld from us, making a way out of no way. And so it's an opportunity then for us to see where we are proving the principles that we talk about in our life. And when we say trust, prove it, what we mean is that a demonstration has been made. That a demonstration has been made, that there has been something manifested in your life along the lines of things that you desire. And in order for this to happen, there are some things that we have to do. But before I get to that, I want to read to you just a little bit about what Ernest Holmes says about demonstrations, manifestations. He said, if we wish to demonstrate, goes on to say, what do we mean by demonstration? Nothing peculiar, nothing weird, nothing that pertains to ghost walking. To demonstrate means to prove, to exemplify, to manifest, to bring forth, to project into your experience something that is better than we had yesterday. Less pain, less unhappiness, less poverty, less misery, more good. That is what is meant by a demonstration. We would like to be happier, have greater physical health. We would like to have more of what it takes to be happy, whether it be millions or marbles. That's what Ernest Holmes says. And here he says, when and what is a demonstration? And I'm reading from the Science of Mind textbook. This is page 174. He says, in the language of metaphysics, a demonstration is made when the thing is accomplished which the one treating desires to achieve, whether it be health, happiness, or abundance. A demonstration is a manifestation. It is prayer answered. When the word of a practitioner takes form, and when I say practitioner, I'm talking about all of us. When the word takes form, this is a demonstration. When desire is given a subjective mode and then becomes objectified in the life of the one for whom the practitioner is working, this is demonstration. The practitioner, of course, gives thanks as he or she makes his or her demand on the infinite, knowing that supply and demand are one, and that his or her request is instantly manifest on the invisible plane. Before they call, will I answer, is the divine promise. We cannot demonstrate beyond our ability to mentally embody an idea. The argument is between our experience and what the world believes and what we are convinced is the truth. It should be understood that we can demonstrate in spite of ourselves, in spite of all weaknesses, in spite of all fear, in spite of all that is in us, because such is the power of truth. We wait only for our own awakened thought. The law is neither good nor bad. Law is and responds. Hang in there with me a little bit more. The possibility of demonstrating does not depend upon environment, condition, location, personality, or opportunity. It depends solely upon our belief and our acceptance and our willingness to comply with the law through which all good comes. The universe will never deny us anything unless we conceive that it is possible for us to think of something that is impossible for the universe to produce. Everyone who asks receives according to his belief. But let us not fool ourselves. We should not fool ourselves about any demonstration. We know there is a state of consciousness which can heal instantly, but if we do not arrive at this in a moment, we should never admit defeat. Let us not despise our sums of additions because we cannot at the outset extract the cube root. The kind of demonstration we believe in is the kind that can be checked by a physician, if one so desires. If we are treating for the removal of a cancer, we have not made a demonstration until the cancer is gone. And the wholeness of the body is evident to anyone. This is not a process of saying peace when there is no peace. A practitioner working for one whose blood pressure is high might say, go every week or so and have your blood pressure tested. If one's blood pressure is high, a demonstration will not have been made until it is reduced to normal. To claim that he is perfectly normal while the blood pressure remains high would be to affront the intelligence of a sane individual. When it is possible that we might have to work on a case for some time, there should be some sign of improvement from the first treatment. If the practitioner admits to himself that it is going to take a long time, he is losing sight of the fact that he is dealing with the instantaneous now and the ever-present here. Our theory rests entirely upon the supposition that it is impossible to have a true subjective concept without there being a positive, absolute, and equal fact. The two will exactly balance. For every action, there is always an opposite and equal reaction. A man who is always distraught cannot give a good treatment for peace. So there must not only be the image in the man's mind who is given the treatment, but there must be an appreciation of what the image means before the image can reflect itself. Otherwise, it is a word and not an embodiment. The word which carries power is the one which has conviction back of it. Let us not blithely repeat words and say the treatment has gone forth and the healing work accomplished unless we have the evidence that our word has accomplished that whereunto it was sent. Let us not deceive ourselves about our treatments. The matter of self-deception about the truth of demonstration is the most prolific field for delusion in our system of thought. There is nothing in all our teaching which calls for lying to ourselves or to others. The more natural we can be, the more spontaneous we can be, and the more we can discharge the obligation of giving the treatment without taking on the responsibility of healing the condition, of putting the power into the treatment, the more power we shall have. And so, in proving it, there must be a demonstration. We can't say that we are using these principles and there be no demonstration. And so we have to then look at our faith in God, if you want to call it that, if that works for you, or our faith in these principles in our life. You see, faith goes with acceptance and expectancy that leads to a demonstration. Yeah? Remember when you were little, or remember when you were young, and you used to say, you would see somebody you like, and you would say, oh, does he go with her? Does John go with Sue? Or does Sue go with John? Okay, so it's like that. Faith goes with acceptance and expectancy, not guilt and unworthiness. Faith goes with acceptance and expectancy, not guilt or a sense of unworthiness. This acceptance and this expectancy is what leads to the demonstration. We're talking about having demonstrations in our life. We're suggesting that each one of us become our own practitioner or reach out to the practitioners that we have for demonstrations to be made, for your life to be changed. And so we have to always be checking in with ourselves to see if demonstrations have been made. We have to always be checking in to see in our lives if demonstrations have been made. Because sometimes what happens is faith plays around with guilt and unworthiness. I said faith plays around with guilt and unworthiness. But faith goes with acceptance and expectancy that leads to a demonstration. You got to be checking these things out to see if it's true or not. And so each one of us, as we do that, then the next thing we should be asking ourselves after we've had the demonstration is, did we understand how the demonstration occurred? What were our thoughts? What were the thoughts that we had that we changed? What did we let go, and what new seeds did we plant? You have to understand it because you want to be able to do it again. Have I made a demonstration? Do I understand how the demonstration was made? And can I do it again? Those are the questions you should be asking yourself when you're checking on your demonstrations in your life, when you're checking to see if your life has been changed. Did I make a demonstration? Did I understand how I made the demonstration? And can I do it again? What Ernest Holmes says is this stuff is repeatable. It's science. That's why it's called the science of mind, because we should be able to prove it. We should be able to prove it. And so sometimes what happens, though, is that we get our denials, which is what he was speaking about in the reading, and our demonstrations mixed up. We call our denials demonstrations. And so somebody might say, well, how do you feel? And you say, I'm okay. Or somebody may say, are you worried? And you go, no. Or somebody might say, are you doubting? And you might say, no. Or somebody might say, are you scared? And you might say, no. Well, that's not demonstrating, that's denying. That's not demonstrating. He said, don't fool ourselves. Do not let us be fooled. A denial is not a demonstration. It's not. Or somebody might say, do you feel like you're alone in this? And you say, no. It's a denial. Because this teaching is a teaching of affirming, not denying. It's a teaching of affirming what we know to be true. It's a teaching of affirming of who we know that we are and not denying it. That's what this whole teaching is about. And so we get to do this through our prayer and treatment, which is the same thing. Prayer and treatment, the same thing. And this for us is our direct line of communication with God, with the God in us. So if you're not praying and you're not treating, you will not have a demonstration. If you're not praying and you're not treating, or you're not asking others to pray and to treat with you and for you, there will be no demonstration. Trust, prove it, pray, treat. Remember, it's our direct line of communication with the infinite, with the all good, with all that's possible. It's an opportunity for us to clear our mind of the negative thinking, of the old ideas. It's this sense where we feel and know that we are in the presence of God, and that God is within and all around us. It propels us right into our faith with this great sense of acceptance and expectancy, where there can only be a demonstration. This, for us, is where we get to discover ourselves, where we get to discover our God self. You have to be praying, you have to be meditating, you have to be contemplating, you have to be journaling, you have to be engaged in the action and the activity of the divine in you, through you, and as you. You have to, if you're going to prove it, you have to be engaged in prayer and treatment. It moves us to a place and a space where we can affirm and know that nothing is withheld from us. In all of life, nothing is withheld from us. Whether it has to do with faith, whether it has to do with health, whether it has to do with money, whether it has to do with relationship, whether it has to do with career, that nothing is withheld from us. You have to be praying. You have to be asking for that which you desire. Where there is no proving it, you'll be sitting smack in denial, 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 instead of affirmation, affirmation, affirmation. You'll be engaged in some teaching, but it's not this teaching. And so, as we understand this, as we get real clear about our faith and our acceptance and our expectancy and our demonstration,